Guys, hello and welcome back to the SpursRelated YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone's doing very well today. Today is Friday. Today is transfer deadline day. And today we are going to be breaking down all the new transfers that Tottenham have got. Well, when I say all the new, I mean one particular signing so far. But there is still a few more hours left of the window and things can change. And today I am joined alongside Andre, SpursRelated, all the way from Canada. Andre, how are you doing today on this deadline day?
Oh, I'm doing great. It is such a busy day. It's good to see, even if it's at the last minute, that Tottenham are trying to make the moves happen, trying to make sure that Postecoglou has the players he needs, and that we also sort of move along the players that will not be used, that might sort of make training and the morale sort of a little interesting, right? You never want to have players who feel like they should be playing above you, right? So it's good to see these movements happening.
Absolutely. We'll come on to the outgoings because this has been a busy transfer deadline day. What a surprise. Tottenham leaving everything to the last minute like I used to with my homework back in the day. But let's welcome in some of the people in the live chat. And guys, it was quite a last minute stream. Be honest. Very sorry we didn't let you know earlier that we'd be going live, but hopefully some more content this weekend with the Burnley game tomorrow. And actually yesterday I was on Spurs Talk Show. It was like 1,200 people watching, which was crazy. So if you get a chance, go and watch some of that. It was some heated debates, which were very funny. But we got Glennie Meadows in here. Glenn, always a pleasure, mate. He's saying watching Luton versus West Ham. And I wanted to be here with you guys. Legend. Hope you enjoy that game. Luton's first game back in the Premier League at home. That should be some atmosphere there. Hopefully they get a result against West Ham. We've got Teslim in here. He's saying if we sign Bella, Kochak and Gallagher alongside Johnson, that would be decent. Teslim, I just want to manage your expectations now, mate. If we sign 2 players in the next 4 hours, I will bow down and do an individual video saying, wow, Tottenham Hotspur, you've rocked my world. But I predicted yesterday on that stream we would not sign more than 2 players. And it looks like we're not even going to sign more than 1. Let's see. But we'll get on to Gallagher in a minute because things may have broken down there. Sukil's in here. Big up Sukil, mate. He's saying PSG signed Kolo Muani. No more signings now. Højbjerg is not going and Dyer is staying. You're ahead of our schedule, mate. We've got some slides to bring up and talk you through all the latest. Adrian's in here saying, good evening, guys, mate. Big up yourself. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well this Friday evening. Andre, we'll read out some more chat in a bit when more and more people come in. But let's start talking about Brennan Johnson. Let's start talking about the main news for the day.
Perfect. Yeah. And I mean, this was the priority and it's happened. Brennan Johnson will be signing for Tottenham, £45 million. That's quite a lot. I don't know how to feel about this one, to be honest. How about I let you start with this one? Because I feel like I just can't right now.
I'm happy. I know it doesn't seem it. I'm happy we've signed a forward because I think we needed to. 45 million, I believe, could grow to 47.5 as per David Ornstein a couple of hours after Fabrizio saying it was actually 47.5 without the add-ons. So the fee actually could be nearer to 50 million pounds. Is Brennan Johnson worth 50 million pounds? Well, is Cole Palmer worth 45 million pounds from Chelsea, from City to Chelsea? No, he's not. So is Brennan Johnson worth 50 million pounds almost? Probably. But is he a good player? He's decent. Is he an amazing player? I don't think so. But I'm trying to judge this like from a neutral basis. Obviously, hard Spurs fan, but I'm just looking at it from the outside a second. Is Brennan Johnson what Tottenham needed? Maybe. But did we need a backup centre-back? Yes. Did we need a backup fullback because we got rid of Reguilon? Yes, probably. Did we need maybe another midfielder for when the African Cup of Nations happens and we'll lose Basuma and Sarr? Did we need another centre mid for that? Probably. So we're talking about Gallagher. We're talking about other defenders, but we signed Brennan Johnson. Great. He might be fantastic. I hope he is, right? But should we have done more this window? And I know I've kind of dodged what you're asking for, Andre. But that's why I'm a little subdued about Brennan Johnson, because if we went and got Brennan Johnson, a decent centre mid, and a backup centre back, I'd be like, do you know what, Tottenham? You've done a good job this window. That is an 8 out of 10 with Maddison involved, Vicario involved, and we've got rid of some players today, right, which we needed to. But have we done enough with the outgoings? No, we haven't. Have we done enough with the incomings in terms of squad depth? No, we haven't. So that's what I would say overall is this window's been great to an extent, but it's, for me, only a 5 out of 10. I'll be honest. Right now,
Really?
this transfer window is a 5 out of 10. We haven't got rid of Ndombele yet. Hopefully it happens in the next few hours, but it will only be a loan. We haven't got rid of Eric Dyer. He's staying. Again, keeping Dev Wood. Ben Davies is still part of the equation, but I know it seems like I always single him out, but he's just another example of how many players we have that Deadwood over the years. Put in Brennan Johnson, fresh, young, 22-year-old right winger that can play as a second striker. Great, but this squad depth has to improve.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'll say this. Like, I'll just read out the stats quickly. From 44 matches, he scored 10 goals and 3 assists last season. Not the best, but you know what? It's more than what Richarlison did last season, so you got to give it to him.
Yep, true, but Richarlison wouldn't have got as much game time as Brennan Johnson last year. Brennan Johnson played every single week for Nottingham Forest. Yes, they didn't score many goals. He scored 10 and got 3 assists in 45 games. From the outside, that looks awful. But delving into it deeper, Nottingham Forest didn't score a lot of goals last year. And actually, when you looked at him in the Championship, he was fantastic at helping them get up to the Premier League. You could argue, well, that's Championship, James. We're talking Premier League. He is 22. I do see him developing into a very, very good player. I think he's a decent player now. Can he become a very good player? I think so. But how much game time is he going to get? Is he going to beat Kulusevski into the first team? There's all these questions. £45 million is a lot for a backup right winger if he's going to be backup. Should we have spent this money elsewhere? I'll leave it to the chat watching to let me know. Do you think we should have got another centre mid? Do you think we should have got another centre back? It might still happen in a few hours, but if I look outside, there's a flying pig. There's about as much chance of that happening, Andre.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, let's see what the chat has to say now.
Let's see. Sukil saying if Sanchez leaves, then we will sign Lloyd Kelly or Trevor Chalobah. Don't think Trevor Chalobah is going to happen. I think Forest are looking at him. I could be completely wrong. Spurs fans are divided, says Adrian over Brennan Johnson, but that's nothing unusual. Johnson has to prove his worth. Sukil's also saying Gallagher's staying at Chelsea. We'll get onto that in just a minute. Glenn, saying no movement on getting more defence in has upset me this window. Exactly that, Glenn. Completely hear your thoughts. And Teslim saying Johnson only played 27 games. I want a centre-back and a mid. We are short, really short. All you need to do, guys, on this comment is look at that game on Tuesday against Fulham. We got schooled by Fulham's B team with our B team. If we're getting done by Fulham's B team and we've got these players coming off the bench in the Premier League and the FA Cup, we are in trouble. When Sarr and Basuma go to the AFCON, we are in trouble. We are. Who's playing centre mid? Skip and Højbjerg? We've already seen enough of that under Conte. I don't want to see it anymore. If we were a proper club with good funds and good ambition and we were going to do what we should, which is invest and back this manager, we needed backup players and we have not got them. Look at Man United today. I'm not saying we have the facilities for this, but they go out and get Sofian Amrabat. What a player. How many times have I talked about him on this podcast, Andre? Sofian Amrabat, centre mid from Fiorentina, number 6, one of the best, I'd say top 10 number 6s in the world. They just go and get him. And now Man United are suddenly from a team that doesn't look like they're going to get top 4 to a team that I think will comfortably get top 4 just by signing 1 or 2 very good signings.
Yeah, I mean, a signing does make a difference. Of course, it's more than obvious. And I think, unfortunately, on my end, this is one of those signings where he has something to prove. So I hope he proves the majority of us wrong, the doubters wrong, and he really shows that he was worth the price tag. Because at the moment, I'm just going to remain neutral on it. I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, oh my God, did a signing. It's amazing. I'm not going to do that. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. And at the moment, I'm just neutral on this one. I'm glad we got someone who can play up there, someone who can potentially score some goals. Because as I've been saying, as much as we've been winning, I'm a little concerned that our forwards haven't been doing much until recently, of course, but they haven't been doing as much as they should be. A lot of our goals has come from a header from Romero or the midfield, which of course the center attacking midfielder has a lot to do, and our midfield's been fantastic. But again, we're just one, I guess, injury away from that first team from becoming very gapey, you could say.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Jason's in here. He says Johnson will play out right striker instead of Richarlison, and he will be awesome. That wasn't Fulham's B team. It was half A, half B. Jason, yeah, to be fair, I've over-exaggerated that point. I get what you're saying. Fulham made less changes than Tottenham. However, the point still stands. If you watch that first half, you will understand how frustrating it was watching that and understanding that game was very important. That Carabao Cup was huge for Tottenham. I know people will take the piss, but we haven't won a trophy in 16 years. Gonna be 17, right? Or 15 years, gonna be 16. We need to win something. We need to take these trophies seriously. Ange made a mistake by dropping 9 players. No one can beat around the bush on this. And even if he made that decision with confidence and thought it was enough, what a culture shock. I mean, suddenly Skip's looking awful again. Davies looks like he can't run properly. Fraser Forster looks like a dead animal in goal, just flopping down for trying to save a goal. I mean, seriously, guys, we have got some serious squad depth issues. Great. Ange Ball's flowing in the first team. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. We should win tomorrow, hopefully. But my goodness, when we talk about those players coming in, Skip, right? Davies, other players around, even up front. Solomon wasn't great. He's been good in preseason, but he wasn't great, right?
I would say it's in innocence, I think, from Postecoglou to see these players and want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But we've been through thick and thin with these players, and we've seen what they can do. So if this was what was needed for him to realize that a lot of these players you just can't trust them, then good, that's fine. It cost us a cup, but I don't think we have the depth for 3 cups and for 3 competitions anyways. So I'm fine.
But we should. This is my point.
Yeah, but we're not. So let's just leave it at that. Personally, I think next season maybe we will be.
Andre, let's move on to the next bit of news, I guess, which is
well, Reguilon, he's been loaned to Manchester United. I was holding out hope that this guy would sort of bring, I don't know, that he would have something for this team, but I guess nope, he's heading out. He's been I think it was like a crisis sort of thing going on left back there because of Luke Shaw, so they just needed to bring someone in to be a backup just in case, and they've done that with Reguilon. So I mean, let's see what he does over there.
Yeah, he's back up. He's probably going to get some game time, like you said, because Shaw's injured. But why are we getting rid of Reguilon? Would be my question. What do you think? Why?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's not in Postecoglou's plans. I mean, he played Perisic over him, right? So,
but Perisic is playing further forwards. You got to remember he's playing as more of a left winger, which is where he traditionally played. Under Conte, he was a left wing back, but under Ange, he's not going to be a left back. So then you've got Udogie, brilliant, love him, great player. But then you've also got Reguilon and Davies. So you're telling me Ben Davies is better than Sergio Reguilon? Nah, not a chance. I don't get this deal. I don't understand why we've got rid of Reguilon. And the only reason I would say it makes sense is if we got another left back in. Doesn't look like we're going to get another left back in 3 hours and 40 minutes or whatever it is. It's not happening, Andre. So why? I just don't get it. Why would we give our second choice left back to a top 6 rival?
Yeah,
Why?
and not to mention Yeah, not to mention that I feel like we're banking a lot on Udoji's health. I feel like if he gets injured, we are screwed.
We have Ben Davies at left back, mate. It'll be like going back to just I don't even want to think about it. I feel like I've been really negative again today, but I'm just like, I can't just sit here, Andre, and go, yay, transfer deadline day. Yes, we signed Madison, Vicario, and Brennan Johnson, and a couple of, I can't do that because it's not enough, and we haven't got rid of enough players. I don't know if, guys, am I going mad, or is this window average, 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 average? Because
Yeah.
in the league, we're looking great with our first 11, right?
Yeah.
Loving the football, loving the positivity, loving the style of play. You bring some of these players on, and it's like watching a team that has no clue. Lo
Yeah, I'm
Celso, I can't keep saying, oh, he might come good. No, he won't. Lo Celso's not good enough. Davies isn't good enough. Tanganga's gone on loan. We'll come on to that in a minute, maybe now.
yeah.
But we had to get players out. You think if you watch Davies and Reggie, Manu will take Davies. We just wanted players out. But Teslim, the thing I'd say about this is we've got to think about what we want. Does Ange really want Ben Davies over Reguilon? I'd be surprised. But Andre, let's move on. Let's talk about the next one. Guys, whack it in the comments if you're watching offline. Reguilon, let us know what you think about this one. I think it's bizarre. I think it's weird.
Yeah, again, I was banking on it. I know Glenn Meadows was banking on it as well. But the next piece of news, Tanganga's made his move. He's been loaned to Augsburg. That came out of not just a little bit out of the blue yesterday, and here we go. It's official. He's out there. Hope he gets some good game time. And I hope maybe he'll be good enough when he comes back. But there is a sort of there is that option to buy though, and it's conditional. And if there's certain metrics that are met, it might even be an obligation. So I don't know. It feels kind of like the club has sort of more or less closed the door on him in terms of being in Postecoglou's plans. So it is what it is. I guess Tanganga is making his move for the following season. He's been loaned out, and if he does really well, it looks like he might be an Augsburg player in the end.
I mean, hopefully he gets game time there, right? At the end of the day, we're loaning out a player to try and give them game time, try and give them an opportunity, and try and see if they develop. Tanganga's still young. He's obviously not in Postecoglou's plans. Augsburg's a random club, man. They're really random Bundesliga team, but they're like, I don't know how to describe it. They're like the Wolves of Bundesliga. It's like mental. Like I couldn't have picked out a more random club for you right on the spot, to be honest with you. I mean, fair play. I kind of rate it, but he's not getting game time at Tottenham. So let's see if he gets game time at Augsburg. I hope he's a starter. I don't even know. I couldn't name you an Augsburg player, to be honest with you. So I haven't got a clue, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure if there's any Augsburg's fans in here, they're just shaking their heads at you right now, James. But for sure, I definitely didn't see this coming at all. It just came out of the blue, but good for them. They're looking for a defender. If this is who they wanted, they got him. So
Andre,
Tottenham
they
take some
finished.
notes.
I mean, they're 11th in the Bundesliga right now, and last year they finished 15th, one place above the relegation zone. So they're the Wolves of Bundesliga. I'm telling you. But interesting. Let's talk about the next one because I don't really have much more to say on Tanganga other than good. We're getting rid of a bit of deadwood, but still not enough.
Fair, fair. Well, another one. Unfortunately, this one I'm iffy on, but it looks like Højbjerg's loan to Atletico Madrid is off.
Yeah.
It seems like Atletico Madrid are mainly wanting to do a loan only, while Tottenham want option to buy. They basically did. They just want to offload these players and hope that if they do very well, they stay there. And it looks like Atletico Madrid isn't planning on that for Højbjerg. They just want more midfielders. So at the moment, Tottenham are happy with that, and they'd rather just keep Højbjerg than to just have a straight loan. So,
Well, to be fair, it's like I just said. What happens when we get to January and it's the African Cup of Nations? Our current midfield is Pepe Matasar, Yves
that's true.
Bissouma, and Madison, right?
Mm-hmm.
African Cup of Nations comes along, Sarr and Basuma get changed out for Skip and Højbjerg, which by the way isn't good enough. Who else have we got? Lo Celso and Ndombele. We've got to keep some of them. And I know I've just banged on about getting rid of Deadwood, but Højbjerg should not be at the top of that list, in my opinion. A lot of people think he should. I disagree. I think Højbjerg does a job. I don't think he's the best midfielder, and I don't think he's the worst midfielder. But he's good for backup, and he's a good option, and he's experienced, and you need experience in your team. If you just whack in 7 youngsters, it's not going to work. Højbjerg's actually a bit of a leader in that midfield. Skip, though, had a stinker against Fulham. Like, up there with Harry Winks as being their stinker, Andre. It was awful. I thought I was watching Harry Winks in a blonde wig. Genuinely.
Oh my God. I forgot about Harry Winks. He moved on earlier and I just completely forgot about him. He's just been erased from my memory. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say other than the fact that Højbjerg's kind of been looking for that move because it doesn't seem like he's a starter and he wants to be, right? And at the age that he's at, he's in his prime. He wants to head somewhere where the team is like, yes, Højbjerg, you're starting, no questions. So, I hope he does find a move. And if he does find a move, I hope Tottenham are prepared to sign someone of equal-ish experience to come in that fits Postecoglou's style.
What, in 3 hours? It's not happening. That's why we're keeping him. But guys, those of you watching live and those of you watching on repeat, keyword in the chat. If you're watching live, put it in the live chat. If you're watching offline, put it in the offline comments. Keyword is rating. And I want you to whack in your comments now. Out of 10, what are you rating this transfer window as it stands at 8:30 on transfer deadline day? I'll start 5 out of 10. Andre, what are you giving it?
I'd give it a 6.5. I think I personally think that a lot of people are getting way too wrapped up on what's happening right now, which is not good, I will say. But there was a lot of good that happened this window. I have seen windows where absolutely nothing happened. A lot has happened this window, some good, some bad, some bittersweet. And I think in general, our team has changed a lot, based a lot on the fact that we did a lot of business in this window. We've signed a new goalkeeper, and he's proving to be good. We signed Madison, which both of us said that if Tottenham signed this player, that would be a statement as to what Tottenham wants to do with Postecoglou, and they got the signing, and for a good deal as well. And we didn't let ourselves get cheapened out with Bayern Munich for Kane either. We got 100 million. So I'm giving it a 6.5 just because at the end of the day, that's an average window. I think we've done a lot of good, but there's a lot more that should have been done. And now we're scrambling at the end of the window to try and get rid of all these players. And then when you really break it down, you realize, yes, we want to get rid of them, but who's going to replace them? There's no point in getting rid of them because then we'll have no one. So 6.5.
I'll just go through the chat. Spurs lad 5, Glenn says 4, Teslim 4, Stu 6.6. He's gone 1.1 better than you. But Andre, I'll tell you why it's not a 6.5 in my opinion. Obviously, and completely fair enough if you think. At the start of the window, I want you to tell me which players needed to be moved on. Off the top of your head. Go.
Sanchez.
Did he get moved on?
No. Dyer.
Keep going. Did he get moved on?
No.
Keep going.
Harry Winks.
He got moved on. Fine.
I guess Hugo Lloris to an extent.
Did he get moved on?
Well, actually, no, he hasn't.
No,
he hasn't.
Next. Keep going.
Let me think. I guess I'm drawing about Ndombele, Lo Celso.
Did we get rid of them?
No.
Right, so you've just named me 6 players we needed to get rid of, and we've sold one of them, right?
Yeah.
So that's number 1. We have a selling problem. We haven't got rid of the players, right? Number 2, we sold Harry Kane for £100 million, right? He wanted to go. Fine. See you later, Harry. Cheers. Thanks for the memories. Bye-bye. Forgotten about you already. However, who have we got to replace Harry Kane? Answer the question.
Well, I assume that they're banking on Richarlison to put in some work, but
Right. Are you confident with that? Because I'm not.
well, I mean, I wasn't. I personally think from the beginning when we signed him, I think that was way too much money. Um, and I personally think we should have been looking at someone else to potentially fill the role and actually maybe think about offloading Richarlison. I think they were banking on the fact that he would fit the style more with Postecoglou. I think that Postecoglou's style fits a bit more into having the wingers and the strikers all work together to put in goals, not just the striker. So it's kind of a tricky question what you're asking, because as soon as you bring a Kane type of striker into this system, it's completely different.
Right. So far, I've made 2 points as to why it's not a 6.5. The third point is our squad depth. You said about Madison, great signing. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 signing. Vicario, think he's good player, good keeper, very good. 8 out of 10 signing, right?
Van de Ven?
Van der Ven, needed a centre back. Very good signing. 3 great signings there, yeah?
Yeah.
But go to our bench, Andre, right? This is the transfer window where you're meant to do business to help improve the squad, not just the starting 11. Okay? And we would have
Yeah.
signed more players if we got rid of more players. But because our squad's so bloated, we are sat still with those players you just reeled off. Ndombele, Davies, Dyer, Sanchez. And therefore, we can't bring in any more players because our squad is bloated with absolute garbage. So, we've got a selling problem. We haven't really got a Kane replacement, even near a Kane replacement. We've got Brennan Johnson. He's going to play off the right. Richarlison's going to be our main man up front. He couldn't hit a barn door, right? And we haven't
Right.
got squad depth. So now,
All right.
I've said all that. Are you still seriously giving that a 6.5 out of 10?
Well, you know what? I'm going to pull up a comment here who's really
No.
helped me out. Boom. Here's your outs.
Longlay's loan ended, so that doesn't count. Danjuma's loan ended, so that doesn't count. Reguilon's gone to Man United. Why? Rodon, where's Rodon gone? Leeds. So has Spence. Tangega's gone to Augsburg. Winks has been sold, and Kane's gone. Our best player by miles. Right? Madison, good signing. Very good. Very, very good signing. Solomon, decent. Johnson, hard. It could be very good. Could be average. Van Event, amazing. Vicario, brilliant. Valise, I could just see him getting loaned out next year. Phillips, he'll be in the development team. Kulu, I'm not counting Kulu and Porro Lynch. I can't count them. We signed them already. We just paid for them this window, right? So you pull up that comment, Andre. I've just dissected it. It's still a 4. Do you know what? I said 5 out of 10. It's a bloody 4 out of 10. I agree with whoever put 4 out of 10. It's a 4 out of 10. I'm getting more and more wound up the more I talk about it. Guys, you're probably getting bored of me moaning. But I'm just being honest. I have to be honest on this podcast. I will never come on this show and go, hey, Tottenham transfer window ended. Get in there. We did so well, because we haven't done enough. I don't know if people agree with me or not. Guys, I want to see if there's quite a few more people joining. And if you are enjoying this content tonight, please do smash like down below. It's free to do so. And turn on the notification bells. If you're watching on a phone, it's underneath the subscribe button. Notifications on to never miss a video. We'll do a match reaction to the Brentford Burnley game tomorrow. Hopefully we get a win, guys. Let us know what you think on that. But I mean, seriously, Andre, do you guys? I want to know more ratings out of 10, because the biggest I've seen is 6.6, and I'm stunned. I'm sorry.
Well, no, Jason here said an 8.
Who's giving it an 8?
Jason Helms, 8 out of 10. I kind of agree with what he's saying, but I would not give it an 8 just because of how many people needed to go. We did do a lot of business. Maybe it has a lot to do. It just really shows how much was needed to be done. And you know what? Let's just see. I think the next window needs to be just as busy in order for me to feel like we're progressing here. We've done a lot. There's still so much more that needs to be done, but that really shows where we were as a team.
Do you know what, guys? This is why I love these debates, because Andre thinks he's better than I do. Lynch and Jason are agreeing with Andre. Glenn and other people in the chat are agreeing with me. That's why we love these shows. That's why we come live and do these lives. Lynch is saying if you're gonna count, if you're not gonna count Pyro and Kulu, you got to count Udoji. Fair enough. I get that. I get that thinking. He said I should have more faith. It's a 7. It's the first window of a 4-year project.
Yes. That don't forget what happened with if I'm not mistaken, with Klopp when he came to Liverpool. There was so much that needed to be done on that team before they started winning things. So that's why to me it's a 6.5, just because I do feel like there was a lot of outgoings that just didn't happen. And I'm just a little concerned with how our backups are. The fact that if one of those defenders isn't playing, a Van de Ven and Romero, our next option, Sanchez, scares me to my core, because I personally think that there's a bit of a innocence to Postecoglou right now in terms of what these players are capable of in the worst of ways, the ones that we already have. So I'm just really, really worried. But yeah, I guess moving on to the next point here, Dyer is expected to stay at Spurs. It seems like there's no moves, nothing's happening, no club's really going for him. So you'll just be leaving on a free at the end of the season. That's just what's going to happen. And it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Bella Kotchap would have been a class signing. I think he's going somewhere in Europe as well. The player we didn't get rid of will be gone next summer. That's the next step. The players we didn't get rid of. Well, yeah, I mean, I would like to hope so, but how many times, Lynch? I'm not going completely against what you're saying. I get your positivity. I get what you're thinking. All I'm saying is, how many times have I sat on this podcast and gone, right, time to get rid of Ndombele, Lo Celso, Dyer, Sanchez, and it just doesn't happen. And that's why I lose a bit of faith, because it feels like no one wants these players, and there's a reason for that. It's because they're garbage and no one wants to pay. So Dyer's staying. Not surprised about that. A couple more. Spurs hesitant of Gallagher price tag. Guys, you gutted about Gallagher? Would you have wanted him? Apparently, we would have had to pay about 40 to 50 million for this guy, right, Andre?
Yeah, we were offering something close to a 35 million pound bid. It was a verbal one, nothing too formal yet. We were just considering it, looking at the price tag, but it looks like Chelsea are holding out for 45 to 50 million. And I personally think that's way too much. But at the end of the day, I feel like you are the big expert here on why we should not sign him. If I remember correctly, we've talked about him before.
Do you know what? A lot of people want Gallagher, and a lot of people, I'd say more people want Gallagher than don't. I want to know what the guys in the chat are thinking, but I don't want Gallagher. I think it's always an interesting one, signing from a rival. I don't think we should sell to rivals or sign from rivals unless there's a good reason. Gallagher is an upgrade on some of our midfield players for sure, but £50 million for Conor Gallagher. I mean, he was brilliant at Crystal Palace on loan. Came back to Chelsea, hasn't really hit the ground running there, plays occasionally, but I don't know. I just don't like the idea of signing a Chelsea player. I just don't like the idea of it, no matter how good they are, and I don't think he's that good. Guys, let me know if you disagree, but I'm kind of quite happy. It's, we're hesitant on his price tag, and I actually agree with Tottenham on this. I don't think we should be paying this money for him.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Saying, if it was a Palace one, to be BRB, Chelsea one, no thanks. I would have taken him if Højbjerg left, said Lynch. And Jason was saying, I think incomings and outgoing should be graded separately. I think fair enough. But guys, let us know, Gallagher. And then finally, on this live, Scarlett signs extension till 2027, I believe, and loaned out to Ipswich in the Championship. So he's got a loan move to the Championship this time rather than a League One team, which was Portsmouth. By the way, the reason I was laughing is that kit is Ed Sheeran's sponsor. Ed Sheeran sponsors his own team, Ipswich, like his hometown. because he's got all the albums plus minus divide. Anyway, I thought it was funny,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's a cool move for him. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? This should have been sort of the, how would you say it? The foreshadowing that we were gonna really try and make sure Johnson signed, because after Richarlison, who else really plays striker other than Son? But you'd want him in the left wing, right? So as soon as you got rid of sort of have him going out on loan, getting some more needed experience with not too much pressure on him, you need the backup, and you need someone who's really going to put competition on Richarlison. So then we went for Johnson. Not too long after that, Here We Go came out. That's brought us here all today, thinking about what's happening at the end of this transfer window. But good for him, and I really do hope he lives up to the expectations that all of us are holding, because all I've heard are good things for Scarlett. So obviously I want him to be good.
I just hope he gets game time. I hope he scores some goals, because he scored a few for Portsmouth, but he didn't hit the ground running massively. And I just think he came on in that Shakhtar game. He looked like a physical prowess, whereas before he didn't. He's really like filled out. He looks like he's gonna hold the ball up well, turn, powerful. I think this could be a good season for Glenn Scarlett. I think he'll score a few goals in the Championship. I fancy him to be a bit of a surprise to many people. But I think we've covered everything on Jay. That was like 7 stories. We talked in the chat. We've got people's opinions. I've been a bit negative, but listen, Ange Ball's back tomorrow. We're playing Burnley, and we will be doing a match reaction on here. I've not even talked to Andre if he's about, but I'll certainly be doing one. Andre, it'd be great if you were in. I don't know. We'll talk about it after, but we'll certainly be live talking about. We'll certainly do a reaction and post that. So turn on your notification bells to not miss that video. Smash like on this live stream if you're watching offline. Comment your thoughts on all these talking points. Glenn saying he likes the vibes on Scarlett. Lynch is saying, remember, January window is only 4 months away and we have money. I want to see a better window than the 4 out of 10. Guys, let us know your ratings. Andre, great work as always, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Of course, I'm always happy. And again, let's see what happens. We still got a few hours to go, and so much is still happening. So many things are being talked about. We haven't even mentioned Ndombele stuff. That's, again, tier 2, tier 3 sources, so we didn't bother mentioning it. I know the Lloyd Kelly thing is basically done now, so it's not going to happen. But who knows? Another player could come around blue in the last hour.
Let's see what happens. Guys, follow us on our socials as well. Instagram, we've got 67,000 followers over there. If you want a new news source for all your transfer news, get over to there. On Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram for all the latest news. You will get that as well while we're not on YouTube. But guys, as I said, smash like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, as always, come on, you Spurs! By the way, if you don't watch the Burnley, I think 2-1 win. Andre, I want to quickly get that. Sorry, I want to quickly get your score prediction. 2-2. Get off this stream. Come on, you Spurs!